A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I begin with the name of Almighty Allah, the most gracious, the exceedingly merciful, and who has no partner. There is none worthy of worship but Almighty Allah alone, and that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his beloved servant and the last prophet. And verily, anyone who Allah has guided will never be misguided, and whoever Allah has not guided will never find guidance. We ask Allah to grant us guidance and keep us steadfast on the path of Islam, following the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the footsteps of Anabi Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and Hanifa Muslim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. First, I seek refuge with Almighty Allah, and I thank Almighty Allah, and I acknowledge your invitation as well, and I ask Almighty Allah will align with the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I ask Almighty Allah for forgiveness before I even start to say anything, and I ask for your indulgence and your patience with me as we go along. So please bear with me as we go along. I'm not a scholar. I'm a student, and those are my sisters. My sister and brother who invited me today know that I'm a student. I'm still learning. That's why I hesitated when I was asked which university did I go to. So I just wanted to be that, I'm on that inshallah, today will be a learning areas for us, all of us, not just for me, but all of us. And on that note, I just want to say anything I say today is not going to be new. There are things that all of us know. So it's just going to be a reminder, first and foremost, for myself, and then so praise be to Almighty Allah, who brings every new year out for us to witness His glory and to glorify Him. Praise be to Almighty Allah, who starts every year with the Muharram. Praise be to Almighty Allah, who within Muharram bless the first 10 days. Praise be to Almighty Allah, who made Yawm al-Ashura, the 10th day of Muharram, the most beloved, the most powerful, the most potent of all of those days of the month of Muharram. Praise be to Almighty Allah, who opens the new year and new favors, new blessings with the month of Muharram. Praise be to Almighty Allah, who delivered Anabi Musa alayhi salatu wasalam and his brother Harun and Banu Israel on Yawm al-Ashura. And praise be to Almighty Allah, who delivered all of his prophets from various trials and tribulations that they went through at their own time on Yawm al-Ashura. And I was so pleased that, when I joined the Askar this morning, the dua that you were saying, because that is a really good segue to the topic we wanted to discuss today, which is the purpose, the importance of purpose. So I'm going to be making references, inshallah, to the times of the previous prophets, so that we can relate that to our own times in this 21st century, inshallah. So please bear with me as we go on this journey together. So why this topic and why now? When I was told to choose this topic, and whenever I always prefer to be given a topic to talk about, and then because I know that it means something to the people who invited me, because everything I do, I wanted to have that purpose to it. I was told, choose a topic yourself. I thought, yeah, Allah, choose for me, because everything we do, it has to go back to Allah and to please Him. And that's why I asked Almighty Allah when I was invited to ask Allah to choose a topic for me. And Alhamdulillah, I made that dua. And in the time of, I'm saying all of these things now to set the scene so that all of us can know, where our strengths lie and the sort of things we need to be observant of in our lives, in our own individual lives. What works for me sometimes may not work for you, but what works for me is when I ask Allah for guidance like that, and I go to bed or I don't even sleep, or I notice that the time of duha, which is after sunrise, after salat, I ask Allah for guidance or inspiration on anything I want to do. And it's like you just get that inspiration, something we just do. It's like a video we just play in front of you like that. That is what it feels like for me. And when that came to, I thought, right, this is the topic. And wallahi, I'm not telling a lie. As soon as that thing came through, I wrote everything down on this piece of paper. So everything I want to talk today is on this piece of paper. From that few minutes of inspiration for Almighty Allah, may Allah accept it for me, from all of us. Amen. So I said that because for everything that we do has to have a purpose. In fact, Almighty Allah himself, when he created the earth, he created it with a purpose. And I'm going to talk about that. So what do we want to talk about today? I want to talk about the importance of purpose. First, from the point of creation, why Allah created us, the angels, and everything. And then for us as well, because on this journey, on this our time on this earth is a journey. So what's our purpose on this journey? What's our purpose in this life? That's the question, first and foremost, for myself, and then for all of us. And when we start to understand that, we need to then link it back to the purpose that Almighty Allah set for us to be on this earth. And the purpose of all of those things, we'll find a reward for it, the outcome for it, which is will be in our journey. So it's a phase, it's a journey, and it's how we go through that journey that I think I want all of us to be able to cover today, which will be talking of the importance of purpose from the point of view of starting with Almighty Allah, because He created everything with a purpose. What is that purpose? And what is that purpose for us in this world, in our lives? From the point of view of faith, our family and friends, our health, wealth, time, our status, everyone is one, wants a higher status one way or another. And also the ultimate purpose is to have that certificate of Al-Jannah. So I'll talk about all of these things from that point of view, with references to the prophets and previous generations, and also with reference to what's happening now, so that it feels real for us. We can all connect with it. So it's not just about the prophets, because they're on a higher rank than all of us. But we also look at this from the point of view of human beings. Inshallah. So please come with me on this journey. We know Almighty Allah created the earth and everything, and He called the angel, and He said to the angels, I've created the earth, it's spacious, it's big. I've put animals there, I've put plants there, I've put oceans and seas and mountains and valleys, all of those things in there. And then you think, what purpose? Why did Allah create all of these things? And then He did all of those things. And what did Allah create last? Human being, Adam. Why did Allah do that? We find the answers again in the Quran. Allah created Adam, and He told the angels that before He created Adam, He told the angels that He wants to create Adam to be on earth. And why is that so? The angels asked Him, do we not worship you enough? Is that something that we're doing wrong? Or do you want to create somebody who will be on earth and cause mischief on earth? And then Allah told them, you don't know what I know. So let's start from that premise. Why did Allah create Adam? And when Allah created Adam, what did Allah teach him? So this is for us, for those of us who are searching for knowledge, who are students, and also for us who have whatever purpose we want to do, like whatever we want to do, like about starting from what we want to do. What's the ultimate goal? Allah created Adam so that he can enjoy, he can spend time on earth and then come back to paradise. Contrary to some other people or other faiths who said that Allah expelled Adam as punishment from paradise. That's not what we think. Because Allah has already said He created this earth with the purpose that Adam will come and live here. And that's something that I think as Muslims we agree with unanimously. But then Allah did teach, Allah taught Adam many things while he was in paradise, as a preparation for his time that he's going to spend on earth. Again, this teaches us about the purpose of bringing Adam to the earth. Why is that Almighty Allah teaching Adam all of those things? So that he can know how to use those things on earth. First, He told him, go and say salam to the angels there. Why did Allah teach him? What was the purpose of doing that? So that Adam could learn how to say salam for him, his children, and his progeny. And that's how today, even up to today, when we see each other, we say assalamu alaikum. Because Allah, the purpose of Allah teaching Adam that He taught him the nature of everything. Why is that so? Some people interpret that ayah as the name features of everything, how to use them, how not to use some things, what to do, what to avoid, which is like guidance, really. So Almighty Allah taught him that. What purpose? I asked myself. So that when he comes on earth, he would know how to use all of those things. because the instruments are there already. Just is how to use it. So for our lives, what is the purpose of the Quran in our lives? The purpose of the Quran is our own manual. It's our guide. You buy furniture, it comes with a manual, instructions how to use. When we were born, we didn't bring the manual in hand, did we? But Almighty Allah has already prepared that Quran for us. That you just come, that's your guidance. When you get on earth, that's what you will do. And that's how Almighty Allah taught Adam the nature of everything. So when the time came for Adam to come down, says, by Allah's planning, Allah knew what would happen. So the fact that he approached something that Allah told him not to is part of Allah's plan. Because the ultimate goal, the ultimate purpose was what? He was going to come on earth. So that's the purpose. So Adam coming on earth is not a punishment at all. It's actually part of Almighty Allah's plan. And we'll see what that means for us, even among nature, the insects and plants and things around us, even amongst ourselves. We will see that as we go, inshallah. So we've established the purpose of creation. So if I ask you now, what's the purpose that we were created? Why were we created?
To worship Allah.
To worship Allah. And how do we worship Allah? His commands. And where will we find those commands and rules? Alhamdulillah. And who was that Quran sent? Who was the connection between us and the Quran? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So on that point, I'll go into the aspect of faith. What is the purpose of our faith? We know we're Muslims. We have the Quran. We have the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But what is the purpose of our faith? Question. To lead us to Allah. Okay. Any more? Inherit Jannah, yes. Our sisters. To find tranquility in this world. Jazakallah khairah. Our faith in Allah protects us from shaitan. So it's all of those things. All of those things is our faith. Is the purpose of our faith. The ultimate one is to serve Allah, to worship Allah. Because that's what Almighty Allah said. He created us on this earth to worship Him right from the time of our forefather Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. And not to be arrogant to Almighty Allah, to be grateful to Almighty Allah. Allah talks about many verses within the Quran. If you look at the favor that Almighty Allah has bestowed upon us, we can never count it. We can never count. Is it the number of veins that are in our body, the number of hair that's on our head, the number of times we've cut our nails every Friday? We can never count the favor of Almighty Allah. And that's just on our body. I'm not even talking of wealth, other things, but that's just on us, in our bodies. So alhamdulillah for that. So when we know the purpose of our faith, when we know the purpose of our faith is to worship Almighty Allah, and then we have to follow the Quran, follow the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said he follows this the footsteps of his forefather, Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasallam. So for us, it's our purpose in life. It's about faith. It's to understand that the purpose of our faith is to serve Almighty Allah. I will talk about friends and family. Allah talks in the Quran. We know from Surah Al-Ikhlas that Almighty Allah is one. He has no partner in his dominion, and he will never have any partner in his dominion. All the people who are calling themselves royalty, king, this, that, on the day of judgment, Almighty Allah will ask, who is the king of the day of judgment? And all of us will answer in unison. Almighty Allah is the king of this day. There's nobody else. Even those who are calling themselves kings, where are they now? The kings of 4 or 5 centuries ago, where are they now? 6 foot under. So when Almighty Allah tells us that, He's telling us that again, for us to reflect on our faith, to be sure that when we say we're Muslims, when we say we're Mu'mineen, to understand what that means. So our purpose of faith is to serve Almighty Allah alone. And Almighty Allah also talks in Surah Al-Yasin that He Himself, before Surah Al-Yasin, but Allah talks about glorifying He Himself in a way that nobody else will ever be able to glorify Him the way He glorifies Himself. Subhanahu la yanbaghi tasbihu illa lahu. Glory be to Almighty Allah, who does not glorify anyone but Himself. Glory be to Almighty Allah, who is the creator of the heavens and earth, who is light Himself, and who is the source of light and the creator of light. Glory be to Almighty Allah, who creates everything in pairs. from among human beings, from among plants, from among animals, even nature. Glory be to Almighty Allah. But yet He creates everything in twos. He Himself is one, but He creates everything in twos. And what is the purpose of creating in pairs? I ask myself and I ask you, what is the purpose that Almighty Allah created? For procreation, love and mercy, tranquility amongst our spouses. My sisters, please join in. Okay, community. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay. You take care of that and increase the number. So it is all of those things. Why? So we know now that Allah is one. We know before. So it's, as I said, this is just a reminder. Allah is one. Yet He has created everything in pairs. For what purpose? We've talked about that now. For procreation, to multiply. And what did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What did he say? He said that on the day of judgment, he wants to see that his ummah is the largest ummah on that day. So when we go into marriage, we ask Almighty Allah to choose for us. Because of that purpose, is to have peace and tranquility, is to have righteous children. And having righteous children begins with that intention, that purpose of for going into marriage. There will be times when you just look at people and you say, okay, like the English people say, opposites attract. And that's how Allah works. That. So it's one of the ways of glorifying Almighty Allah is that glory be to Almighty Allah, united the earth and the heavens, who united, and that by uniting the earth and the heaven, you don't see the pillars that Almighty Allah uses to unite them. You see, but we believe that Almighty Allah unites them. He's also the one who unites. Allah is also the one who unites light with darkness by the way that He alternates day and night. Allah is the one who unites fire with water by the way that one extinguishes each other. And that's why in marriage, when there are tension, even outside marriage, even amongst friends, there will be tension. To know that that purpose of that tension is not by our own making. There is a divine purpose behind it. But it's when those tensions arise, we go to Allah, we seek refuge with Allah, because sometimes Shaitan may want to capitalize on that tension, the way he did with Nabi Yusuf and his siblings. So ours is to go back to Almighty Allah, seek refuge with Allah, and bear that with patience. And the way that Nabi Yusuf bore that with patience when the tribulations happen among his children. So for the purpose of marriage, of having family. So the purpose of marriage is to have a righteous family, to worship Almighty Allah together. And also on the day of judgment, who doesn't want to be with their family in paradise? Tell me. We want to be with our family in paradise. We want to be amongst the prophets, among the righteous servants, among the strong believers. That's where we want to be. That's where our purpose for marriage, again, going back to that, the importance of purpose is really, really key to everything we do in life. And the same way, it's about our choices of friends. Look at Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Look at his friends, the friends that he chose, his companions, and the Ansar, his companions in Mecca who stood by him through thick and thin, and also those who welcomed him in Medina. So, what's the purpose of your friendship with person A, person B, person C? What's the purpose of going into marriage? And when you're in the marriage, how are you going to maintain that purpose? When troubles begin, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to back? Are you going to remind yourself of the purpose of going into that marriage, into that friendship? Because there will be times when there will be turbulent times. Almighty Allah talks about that in the Quran. Do you think because you say you are believers, you will not be tested? Those before us were tested. So who are we not to test us? We ask Almighty Allah not to test us beyond our means and not to test our faith. So I ask again for all of us, what is the ultimate aim? We said before, it's a journey of paradise. We want to be surrounded by people who will go into our journey with you. Okay? So we've talked about the purpose of friends or family got married. Who wants to be the richest person? Shy, don't be shy. You don't mind. Be definite. We are in a period of istijaba, a period of responses. So say what you want. Who wants to be wealthy? Exactly. What's the purpose of your wealth that you want to accumulate? Good answer. To serve Allah, mashallah, mashallah. I'm glad I'm in good company this morning, alhamdulillah. So when you ask Almighty Allah for wealth, Ya Allah, grant me this wealth so that I can look after my family and I do zakat and I do sadaqah and I do hajj and I do all of that for the purpose of Almighty Allah. The purpose, the intent has to be linked back to Almighty Allah, the owner of wealth, the owner of provisions, and the one who gives and takes measure. Look at one of the Sahabi, Uthman bin Affan. He has wealth. He was also shy. What did he do with his wealth? And this is how you can tell that the purpose of him accumulating that wealth then was pure, because the reward that wealth is yielding up until today is beyond belief. And that is a good legacy to leave. You're still getting the reward. And we say when you get, you do something good, Allah will multiply the reward for you. Look at this, how many centuries? Over 1,400 centuries now. He's still getting the reward because his wealth keeps multiplying. Years, centuries after he has gone away. So I ask myself and yourself, what is the purpose of chasing after wealth? The Surah to Takazu, Al-Hakum Takazu. What is the purpose of you chasing wealth? Of you chasing that contract? Of you chasing all of that? What is the purpose? What do you want to do with it? Because on the day of judgment, Allah would ask us, even from the time we get into the grave. We all know the hadith of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the hadith of take 5 before 5. So let us bear that in mind as we are chasing all of these things. For what purpose? For what purpose? Because on that day, the record will be clear. And Allah says, even the smallest thing to the biggest thing will be in that record. May Allah forgive us before then. So we are chasing wealth for what purpose? And how? How anyway? How are you chasing your wealth? Are you going to use haram for halal? Do you want to chase wealth in a haram way and want to spend it for sadaqah? Allah will reject it. Allah said that already. Anything that's bad, Allah does not like. Allah is pure and He loves purity. He loves what is pure. So as you are chasing your wealth, think, is the means of achieving, of accumulating those wealth, is it halal? Is the means of accumulating the wealth halal? Are you spending it in a halal way? When it comes to, when you go to the mosque and say, we have a project to do, please contribute. And you know that when you've done your disposable income, you know that your disposable income, you have about £500 left at the end of it, and you're giving £10. Allah is recording, the angels are here. The angels are here. The angels are here. So may Allah forgive me, and may Allah forgive us.
Amen.
I know that it's a hard food to swallow, especially now for those of us who are in the UK, where we're talking of everything just skyrocketing. I bought something a few weeks ago for about let's say £60, and I went back and it was £90, and I thought, too bad. I went out of the shop and I went, I'm not even going to eat the money. Come on, so just spend it. And I just said, Almighty Allah, whatever I buy with this money, let the Allah's rahmah and barakah multiply the use of it. So don't worry about the cost of living increasing, the mortgage interest rate rising up, the bank interest rate rising up. Ask Almighty Allah to put barakah in the little that you have, because it is that barakah that will make 1 penny, 1 kobo, $1 do the work of 100 million pounds. So ask Allah, whatever you have, the purpose is to ask Allah, Ya Allah, you have blessed me with this one. Put barakah in it for me. Put barakah in it for me. Make it beneficial for me and my family and those who will benefit from it. And protect the reward for me in our journey. The reason I'm saying about this protection of the reward Because there are some people who have not done the work with you. They haven't gone through that turbulence. They haven't gone through that crisis with you. You know, you can see them, but yet they want the reward, or they want to spoil what you have. So I'll ask Almighty Allah to put barakah in everything that He has given us, whether it's barakah in our wealth, in our health, in our time, in our anything we do. It's because that's something that is unlimited with Almighty Allah. He's the Lord of endless mercy. Excuse me, He is the Lord of endless mercy. So when you're accumulating wealth, ask yourself, what is the purpose of accumulating wealth? Because at the end of the day, we came to this earth with nothing, and we will live with nothing. Yeah, we will live with nothing. So think of what you are sending for in your record. May Allah protect us. So we talked about the purpose, of, the importance of purpose in terms of creation, in terms of faith, in terms of family, friends, marriage, in terms of wealth. Let's talk of health. What's the purpose of our health? What's the purpose of your health? What's the purpose of your health? To serve Allah.
Things that are like we have obligation. It's divine duty upon what we take in and what we use to close our health, ensure that they are healthy and they're in the best of health. Go back to witness for or against Catholic.
That's the point I wanted to make. Did you raise your hand? Yes, Bismillah.
So our health and future also forms part of our life. Whether we will be Allah.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khair for all the contributions. All of those things, our health is an amana. It's a gift from Almighty Allah. It's a trust from Almighty Allah. How I use it, how you use it, needs to go back to that purpose, of the purpose of creation, to serve Almighty Allah. I see some of our brothers here who are, you can see that they work out in the gym. I'm looking at the ladies, sorry. I can see some brothers have, you can see that, yes, this person spends time in the gym. Do you spend as much time and dedication in serving Almighty Allah? Some people will not miss that gym appointment. They will even be using even lunchtime like this, they'll need that appointment. Well, even at lunchtime, do you take that time to say, even if it's 2 minutes to read the Quran? So our brother just said that the good health that Allah has given us is a test, and the ill health is also a test. The good health is a test to see whether we will be grateful. And the ill health is a test to see whether we will be patient. And whoever Allah gives either of both, it's not because you are better than the other person, or you are, or the other people are better than you. It is Almighty Allah. Everything is from Almighty Allah. He provides His provision without limits to whoever He wills, and He withdraws that provision from whoever He wills without limits. And that provision includes our health. So what is the purpose of our? How are we using it to serve Almighty Allah? Some people say, haram and haram. It's also about how we earn our wealth. Do you work in a gaming shop, in a betting shop, and you want to spend that money in the house of Allah? Allah will reject it. So how do you earn your wealth? Are you earning your wealth by inflating the price, which is the lessons that we learned from Anubi Shoaib when you're making transactions? Be fair, be just. Are you earning your worth in a way that is just, that you're not depriving other people? With this cost of inflation and cost of living increases, some people take the opportunity to say, even though I bought this since 12 months ago, before cost of living started to rise, let me quickly increase it. Allah is watching you. Allah is going to ask you, how did you get your wealth? Think of the purpose that goes back to Almighty Allah. Our health as well is not just about what we eat. Allah and Quran is also about what we consume. What we consume through our eyes, our hands, our legs, because they're part of our health. And our sister said earlier, on that day, Allah will make all of those things stop until everything else will stop. May Allah protect us. I always wish I could go into seclusion in summertime, because you're trying to protect what your eyes can see. It's one of the daily aspects that we make. Oh, Allah, protect our eyes, protect our ears, protect our hearts. I always feel like every summer, I'm sometimes not looking forward to the summer. This is the first time I'm sharing that openly with people, because of you see some people, men and women, dressed but naked, and you're trying to protect your eyes, you know? And on the TV as well, there's some programs I don't even go to. Somebody was asking me the other time, I was speaking at a conference, said, oh, Love Island. I said, I don't watch it. Because on that day, Allah will ask me, what did your eyes see? Yeah, Allah will ask me, what did your eyes see? So what's the purpose of using all of our help? Amil. What's the purpose of using up all of our help? And there's so many things happening around us today that we have to be very careful of our health. Let us use our health to serve Almighty Allah. Those of us who work out in the gym, when you're going to the gym or doing any of the exercises, whether it's jogging at long time or whatever it is, let's go back to Almighty Allah. Ya Allah, I'm looking after my body so that I can please you, so that I can wake up with a Hajia, so that I can pray Salat on time, so that I can sit back properly when I'm ready to go, so that I can correct my posture when I'm doing the ruku and the sujood, so that I can please Almighty Allah. So let us take back our purpose. Whatever Allah has given us, whether it's time, whether it's health, whether it's a room, whether it's just one room. Don't wait for mansion before you start thanking them. Thank Almighty Allah for what you have, because you don't know what will happen. Allah is the one who controls the heart of all of us. He controls everything. He can just flip things around and turn the evil to good. And he can also turn, if you're not grateful, it's also in his power to do whatever he wishes. May Allah protect our health. May Allah protect our health. I mentioned about time. Time is really precious. Is it? Time is really precious. And by time, I'm not only talking about the 24 hours. I'm talking about night and day. You know the last 10 verses of Surah Al-Imran, which we say when we wake up in the morning, talks about the alternation of night and day. Yeah, and for me, that's what I mean about time. All of that, the alternation of night and day. And through the alternation of night and day, what happens? We see trees, bulbs growing, plants or seeds growing into bulbs, germinating into bulbs, growing until they wither. That's a symbol of time. That's a symbol of our own time as well. We have young children amongst us today. By the time you blink and it's like 20, what 10 years time, isn't that the child isn't that little girl from that time ago? MashaAllah, look at her now. That is how our time is going as well. Every time we blink, the clock is ticking and the grave is calling. The clock is ticking, the grave is calling. O son of Adam, I am waiting for you. What is the purpose of our time? How are we spending our time? I talked about Baraka earlier on. Baraka is not only in the food we have or in the things that we have. It's also in the time that we have. How are we using that time purposefully? How are we using that time purposefully? What are we investing our time in? Every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, ask yourself. Some years ago, when I started to climb the ladder, I always ask myself, what have I done? What have I done today? And I started to time myself every 30 minutes. I did that for about 3 months. It was rigorous. It's like, why am I putting myself through all of this punishment? I didn't know then that Almighty Allah was teaching me a lesson. You should be able to account for your time, because on the day of judgment, that account will come out. So let us hold ourselves to account now. So what is the purpose of your time? Where are you spending your time? We're talking of time. Almighty Allah created, when he created the earth, he gave it 12 months. Out of those 12 months, 4 are most glorious, most sacred. Out of those 4, within those 4, there are secret times, whether they're first 10 days or the last 10 days, the first 10 nights or the last 10 nights, 1 day, 1 hour, every day, within a week, we have some days or times that are more important than the others. Before Fajr, between Asr and Maghrib, at Tahajjud, those are precious times that Almighty Allah has earmarked for us. How are we spending that time? And Almighty Allah talks about in Surah Al-Muzammil that wake up at Tahajjud. No, sorry, in Surah Al-Isra. Wake up for Tahajjud. Because at that time, Allah will help you to reframe your speech. Whatever you're working on, that is the time to do it. Allah talks about that. But then, when you do that, when you do your tahajjud regularly, Allah will give you that inspiration. And part of that inspiration will be something, your own signature for something. I talked earlier on about when I asked Almighty Allah to guide me to this topic. Because what Allah knows, but it's a gift of Almighty Allah that during the time of duha, I get that vision or anything. My brother and sister know I do, my Islamic lectures, where I do lectures and tafsir. I ask Almighty Allah, is that time I ask Allah, oh Allah, Safarizer, tell me what you want me to do next. Because even before starting the tafsir and everything, I just woke up that day and I kept hearing this voice. I was reading the Quran and I kept hearing this voice. Do tafsir. I'm thinking, what? Tafsir? What do I know about Quran? How much Quran do I know? The people, why me? Why this? But it was Joe insisted, do tafsir. I called a few people. I said, I'm scared. I don't know Quran enough to do this, but this is what I had. And one of them said, I don't have time now. The other said, if this is from Allah, the Quran is the word of Almighty Allah. If He calls you to do it, you do it. And Alhamdulillah, this is about 2.5 years now. The tafsir has been doing. We've done the tafsir of Juz Amma. We've done the tafsir of Surah. Tafsir of Surah Kaf took us about 1.5 years. You've spent another year on Surah tafsir of Surah Yusuf. So spend your time wise. Ask yourself, where is your time going? Where is your time going? What's taking your time from you? What's robbing you of your time? So may Almighty Allah protect us. Those of us who are looking for ranks, be careful how you ask for ranks, because Almighty Allah will ask you. Don't chase position. Don't chase high ranks. If Allah did not put you there, you go in there by yourself. Whatever you say, Yoruba will say Afowofa. Let Allah choose you for whatever. Ask Almighty Allah to choose you for His mission and to guide you and to make it easy for you. Because at the end of the day, everything goes back to Almighty Allah. Prophet Anobi, I'll just talk about this. Prophet Idris asked Almighty Allah that he wanted to see what paradise looks like. And he worked towards it. He worked diligently. He was the first person to use a pen. He worked diligently. Every time he was working or so, he used to glorify Almighty Allah subhanahu. And I said, okay, fine. May Almighty Allah elevate us to right high ranks of His righteousness. All of this, please, my brothers and sisters, is to take us back to Almighty Allah. Everything we do should be to Almighty Allah. And let us take this opportunity of Yawm al-Ashura coming to reset. Let this be a point of reflection, first and foremost for me, but for all of us, to reflect and reset. January 1, other people say that's the New Year's Day. That's why they want to set their own New Year resolutions. Muslims, my Muslim brothers and sisters, this is the time for us to set our own New Year resolutions. May Almighty Allah deliver us and protect us as He delivered the prophets beyond and before us, who have come past and who have come before us. May Almighty Allah protect us and accept this as act of ibadah. And whatever good I've said is from Almighty Allah. Whatever mistakes I've said, I've made in this is from me. I ask all of you to forgive me and have mercy on me. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وتوفنا مسلمين وألحقنا بالصالحين. اللهم ارزقنا بقولك لا اله الا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا واغفر لنا الله كل شيء قدير. ربنا هب لنا من ازواجنا وذرياتنا قرة اعين واجعلنا للمتقين اماما. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا واعف عنا وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم. اللهم اتنا جنتك في الدوس ونعوذ بك من النار. اللهم ربنا ابن لنا بيوتا من عندك جنة ونجينا من الدنيا وفتنتها ونجينا من القوم الظالمين. اللهم لك الحمد يا رب كما ينبغي لجلال Wajibal Karim, Wasufoni Okodi, Allahumma lakal hamdu. This is the dua of Anabi Musa. Sorry, I called the prayer because I wanted to explain this dua before I end of the day. When because this is Ashura time, when Almighty Allah told Musa to leave Egypt, and he was going with the Banu Israel, and they were going, they got to a point. This is the sea in front of them. This is the enemy coming behind them. They're caught between what do we say? The rock and the hard place. Didn't know what to do. And the people with him said, this is why did you deceive us? I said, no, my Lord will never deceive me. And what dua did he make to Almighty Allah? He said, Allahumma lakal hamdu. Allahumma lakal hamdu. Wa ilayka mushtaka wa bika mustaqah anka musta'an wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi aliyyil azim. Oh Allah, you accepted it from Musa, accepted from us as well. You made it an exodus and the way out. Musa, make it a way out for us as well. Make it a way out for us from all the trials and tribulations and crises that we're going through. Allahumma salli ala